But our next guest is an Academy Award winner who has appeared in such popular motion pictures as Pulp Fiction, Wayne's World 2, and Batman Returns, his latest. It's called The Prophecy. It opens on September 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Christopher Walken. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you in a long, long time.
Yeah.
You know, it occurred to me, and I mentioned this, I alluded to it at the beginning of the program. You play in the films, and always very effectively, guys who are just a little, you know, like 15, 20 degrees one way or the other, you know? Your compass ain't quite right. What is the real Christopher Walken like? Take us just through a day of yours. What do you know, you get up in the morning and then what happens for you? Are you nuts?
No. If I'm not working, I don't leave the house.
Why is that now?
Well, I can't drive, and
you can't drive.
Well, no, I stay in the house a lot. It's true, and I try to have another job to be studying, you know, a script or something like that. And I don't go out much.
So you're really sort of a really kind of a, well, I wouldn't say that's normal that you stay in the house all day, but you're not a psycho, is what I'm getting at here.
No.
Have you ever been in a fight yourself? I'm going to fight this guy from Westinghouse in a couple of weeks. Dropping. I predict the fight won't go more than 2 rounds. They'll just drop him. Just boom, boom. I'll poof the guy. We'll be out of here in like 90 seconds.
Not since I was, 7.
Yeah. Let me ask you about your name, Christopher Walken. I'm guessing that's your real name because it's, I mean, why would that be? It's not a stage name, of course.
No, my real name is Ronald, and I was, before I was an actor, I was a dancer for a long time. I worked with Monique Van Voren and
me too.
Nightclub.
I'm sorry. So you were working as a dancer?
Yes, and I was in her nightclub act with 2 other guys, and at the end she used to introduce us, and she'd try out different names on me. One night she said, "I'm going to call you Christopher," and I said, you know, fine. Don't call me late to lunch.
And so it stuck. You know that you mentioned driving, and you know what we looked at today was the scene of you in the Woody Allen film Annie Hall, right, where you call Woody Alvey into your room to talk to him about this dream you have about driving late at night with the lights on and turning into oncoming traffic.
Headlong into traffic.
Yeah, that's right.
Speeding traffic.
Yeah, it's very effective.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bad driver, but not like that. I'm just slow.
Yeah. Have you ever been ticketed as citation?
Never. I've had a license since I was 17, and I drive too slow to get a ticket.
Really? Ever been pulled over for driving too slowly?
You know, I've never been pulled over except once, and it was a guy who in a plain car and a plain outfit. And he came over and he said, "License and registration, please." Yeah. And there was something wrong. I said, "Are you a policeman?" And he said, "No."
Just an irritated motorist. Get off the freeway.
Or he had some sort of fantasy or something. But I said no, and there was there was an awkward moment, sort of silence. Yeah. And he just went back to his car and drove away.
Tell me about the play, and if I don't have all the facts straight, correct me. The play that I believe you conceived, wrote, and starred in about Elvis Presley?
I did. At the beginning of the year, at the Public Theater, I did a play called Him that I wrote, and it was about Elvis.
What aspect of Elvis were you interested in?
Well, I had been making a movie a couple of years before, and I had time on my hands, and I would go and buy all the tabloids. And they almost always have something about him.
Something very, very twisted.
Yeah, and, so different, everything. He does all these different things. So I collected them all, and I put them together and made up a little evening out of it.
Yeah.
One of the critics said, it was amusing, but it's not a play.
Oh. Well, that's all right. But, you've got something there because that's a fascinating cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
The guy's been dead all these years.
Absolutely. There's some big conference going on somewhere in America now, a big thing, with all different kinds of people.
Regarding Elvis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christopher, earlier we had Dan Rather on, and Dan usually sings a song, but with the Westinghouse takeover, he's scared silly, so he can't sing. Would you mind being... You're a song and dance man. We know you dance. Do you have a little something?
I don't remember a lot of lyrics, and somebody asked me about this before I came on tonight. But one of the first things I did when I was young was a lot of tours of West Side Story.
Oh, good.
And they said, when you're a jet all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day. When you're a jet, if the hits the fan, you got brothers around, you're a family man. You're never alone. You're never disconnected. You're home with your own. When company's expected, you're well protected. Yeah!
Christopher Walken, ladies and gentlemen. The film is The Prophecy, and it opens September 1st. We'll be right back. Thank you, Christopher. Good to see you again.